Welcome ladies and gentlemen to tonight's quick video where I talk about some crucial changes in the errata and FAQs that dropped earlier this evening. As usual with these I won't go over every FAQ and errata, but I encourage you to go read them for yourselves as well, as I very well might miss some crucial parts in this video. Anyway, here I talk about some important changes to some very powerful rival decks in particular, and frankly some much needed nerfs to some of the very strong cards in there. First up is puncturing ice shards, where the second part of the card is changed. Previously, your opponent had to choose a fighter to ping after you did so, oftentimes forcing them to ping the same fighter again, but now the important word can has been added, thus making it an optional. A very crucial change to a card that still is very solid. I think it's good stuff. Feels really bad when you have to ping your own fighter after your opponent just did so like 2 seconds ago. Next up is the right bait from the same deck, which also has been nerfed, but less so. Previously the last part only staggered the enemy fighter, but now it does both fighters, if they meet the conditions, that is. Less impactful nerf here, but also a move in the right direction for this, in my opinion, quite boring and very abusive deck. Next one is a very much expected nerf as well. Was surprised to not see this earlier, frankly. Eager for the Fight has had the and/or condition removed, and it's now simply reads or. So either all of your fights needs to have a charge token, or all needs to be within 2 of the enemy fighters. You can't mix and match there anymore. Still, I think it's very dirt easy for an aggressive warband or of like 4 or even like 5 bodies or less. So while welcome, the 2 glory is still extremely solid for this card, and while it's a nerf, it's still very, very good. Next, a very expected nerf as well here with another card from the Breaking Slaughter with Rapid Strike, which now requires you to have killed more than the round number rather than only equal to the round number. That's a very good call. As well, I think on a very silly 2 glory card. Now it's much more of a reach, but still probably very solid, given the matchup, of course. On to some FAQs. This one states that while a Void Cursed Assault is indeed a Gambit card, it is not the actual Gambit card dealing the damage directly, thus not making fighters equipped with Boots of Warding immune to the damage caused from the attacks that the card lets you do. Pretty obvious in my opinion, but I guess it doesn't hurt to have that clarified. Yeah, very good. Next one states that if you move a vulnerable fighter into a lethal hex and thusly die, subterranean threat might be scored, as they are indeed taken out of action before they are given the move token, as the objective requires the fighter dying to not have a token. I think it's pretty good to point out that the timing there is very important. Next up is another one that I feel is obvious, but there has been some uncertainty about it, and it's about Karnskyr's reaction to moving over opponents, clarifying that you can only roll for one of the opponents you moved over. It would obviously be totally bonkers if you got to roll for several of the fighters, but yeah, good to have that cleared up. And the last one I wanted to touch upon is this. Vitrix's Eye is not an attack action upgrade. So basically you do an action that then lets you do an attack action. This has the implication that you can indeed equip this on a beast, which is pretty neat. So yeah, do let me know if you found any other really important FAQs or erratas that I forgot to talk about here. But as far as I'm concerned, this has been me for tonight. Happy gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. I would like to thank all my wonderful members that support my work. Every penny goes straight into new minis, new paint, equipment and whatnot. Your support means a lot. If you are not yet a member, what you can expect from a future membership is access to the member Discord, early access to videos, member deck review, and just generally a greater influence on the content I put out. I will surely add more features to the member side of things as I progress as well. Furthermore, I would also like to mention that if you are looking to buy Warhammer merch, you can now support the channel via clicking the link provided in the description of the video to help the channel with a small but valuable kickback without any extra cost for you by making any of your purchases via the link. Lastly, don't forget to like the video. A small click for you that still means a lot for for me and the elusive YouTube algorithm to get the video into a more favorable position amongst the very steep competition out there on the YouTubes. And do feel free to comment as well. I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say. Any engagement is welcome really, and I always strive to answer any comment I do get.